to this section of the course. Here we'll be looking at sequences and series. Let me, for starters, explain the difference between arithmetic sequences and geometric sequences. Sequences have a common difference, that is, by a certain value. For example, let's say 2, 5, 8, and so on. Every time from one term to the next, they're increasing by a common difference. In this case, the common difference is +3. They don't have to go up. You might have an arithmetic sequence that goes down. For example, you might have 10, 8, 6, and so on. So the common difference there is -2. What is it? What is a geometric series and geometric sequence then? Geometric sequences have rather a common multiplier or common ratio. For example, you might have 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and so on. Every time we have a common ratio of 2, we are multiplying by 2. The common ratio is a number. It could be positive, negative, or a fraction. For example, you might also see a geometric sequence such as 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, and 1, and then a half, a quarter, and so on. What's happening here? We are basically multiplying by a half. The common ratio is a half. So I explained the difference between geometric and arithmetic sequences. But what's the difference between the word sequence and series? Series are where we have an addition or subtraction sign between each term. For example, if we add these values in a sequence, that would be a series, and that would lead us to find sum of a series. And furthermore, we will look at the certain series that you can find sum of infinity to. And then we look into sigma notations further on. Sigma notation is this notation I've put up here. This is a sigma notation. I'll explain in more detail what to do about it. Then we look at increasing and decreasing and periodic sequences. We look at recurrence relationships and modeling real-life scenarios with sequence and series. Okay, so without further ado, let's start with the prior knowledge test. As always, I encourage my students to pause the video, have a go at the prior knowledge check tests, and then let's check our answers together. Okay, I hope you've had a go, and here are the answers. So the first few sequences and series are arithmetic. You can find a common difference. If you're not sure, you just take one term and subtract the previous term. 7 minus 2 will give us a 5. You notice that they all go up by 5. Here, you can also do the same. You say 8 minus 11 is a -3. Therefore, we just adding a -3 each time. In the next sequence, you'll see that it's going down by 6. It's a -6 in this arithmetic sequence. The next sequence is not an arithmetic sequence. If you find the common difference, there is no common difference. He's adding 3, he's adding 6, and so on. So how to find the ratio or common ratio? You take one term and you divide it by the previous term. 6 divided by 3 gives you 2. Therefore, going from left to right, we multiply by 2, and so on. Next few terms in the sequence will be such. The next sequence is also a geometric sequence. There, you're multiplying by half, so next few numbers will be such. This is also a geometric sequence. If you're not sure what's the common ratio, you take the second term and you divide it by the first term. What you notice is that you're multiplying by 4 each time, actually -4. So the next few numbers will be as such. You've been asked to calculate x equaling to 50. So this requires you to use your knowledge of logarithm rules. If you remember carefully, you can use log of base 2, log of base e, or log of base 10. It doesn't matter. You should get this answer. And you would do the same for the next question. I'll show you how to do part C slowly. First, we would divide both sides by 4. So you'll have 78732 divided by 4. Then you would take logarithms. So log of 3 would mean that the x will come and multiply by log using logarithm rules. And here you would have log of 78732 divided by 4. Then you divide both sides by log of 3. So x would be log of this giant fraction by log of 3. Now, I hope you're not tempted to divide this fraction by 3. Divide by log cannot be simplified. You put it on your calculator and you find the answer. The answer should be 9. So, I'll see you in the next video.